Okay, this is a show and tell of this turntable cabinet restoration project I did. I bought this as an antique, 50 bucks from a guy, because it looked right and the AM/FM radio in it at least worked. So it, as far as I could tell, it sounded all right. Turns out it sounds pretty good. It's got built-in speakers and the amp seems to work just fine. So it had a turntable and 8-track player in it, which I took out. So the 8-track player kind of dates it to the 1970s. So this was a this is a Coronado 5M050D, and that's 0.6 amps is what it draws. So yeah, 8-track player, 70s. So yeah, this is a 50-year-old. It's probably not super high-end. But yeah, it's Coronado's apparently, yeah, a UK brand. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it sounds now that I got a good source in it. So I put the turntable in, and there's also, yeah, a Bluetooth unit just right there. So you can pair your phone with it and play Spotify or whatever. So yeah, you switch between the Bluetooth and the turntable there. There's a free input, and then I had to use the fourth one here to help ground it, which I'll just show briefly on the back when I get to that. But yeah, I gotta put it to where the auxiliary input was. The 8-track and the turntable are no longer connected. The wires are just loose inside. So, but yeah, we're playing the turntable here. So yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with how it all sounds. Well, the first thing I had to do is it was kind of musty. It had a bunch of gross dust inside. It was maybe in a little bit of a damp place. Yeah, I had to follow instructions. I got paint on my hands. That's why it's red. It's not blood. I had to follow instructions online to demust a cabinet. So I rubbed it down with vinegar. I put baking soda inside. I used some beeswax polish to kind of coat it all, bring out some of the shine, and yeah, some furniture polish, lemon stuff. So I blew out all the dust fairly. Wiped it out, blew it out. So the dust is all gone. I think I solved about 80 to 90% of the must problem. You can still kind of put your nose in there and smell a little bit of it. So hopefully that goes away. I got a little freezer pack of baking soda in there. I'm just going to leave that permanently. Hopefully that will help. And then once I put it in its final place, I also bought this product, which hopefully will absorb odors as well. So that was the first thing, dealing with an antique. And yeah, there's instructions for all that stuff you can find online. But the other issue was the power plug was only 2-prong. There was no ground. So this is a 3-prong, so it's connected to the full building ground via that. So I replaced the power cord, and then on the amplifier board here, this little green cable right there, that's the ground that's coming in from the power plug, and it's got a screw onto the board, so that's the board ground as well. And then I also had to connect the ground over to where the switch is. I use the sort of the neutral audio channel, so that that's all set to ground, and then all the inputs are the same ground, and that's wired into the power connector. So the hot wire goes through the switch, so you have to turn it on there, which turns on the power for the amp and the power for the turntable and the power for the little Bluetooth thing. So yeah, wiring it wasn't too bad. This back plate has I just got the wires hanging loose, but if I wanted, I could turn those auxiliary back on. But the problem there is, when the cables stick out the back, I kind of push this up against a wall. So having the extra cables out there is kind of a pain. So yeah, I didn't do that, but I can quite easily. And yeah, I put the back plate back on. Just screws on. It's pretty easy to remove. So yeah, it took a bit of time. Now the last really involved thing I had to do. So this turntable weighs a few pounds. It's reasonably heavy, and so the replacement I got, it's an Technica AT-LP60X. So this is a pretty low end. Out of the Technica, this is kind of the lowest end. It's still a reputable brand. It's not one of these Chinese ones that would break your records. Made sure this was a legit player. It's just definitely at the low end of legit players. So yeah, this unit, it's a little bit heavy. It sits on springs. However, this unit doesn't have any such dampening. It's not really meant to be in a cabinet like this without any additional dampening. So if you notice it, if I jiggle it a bit, I've got it set, I've got it decoupled. So I'm gonna take this out and I'll unpack all that's going on. I was just trying to replicate what was going on with this for decoupling it from the vibrations of the cabinet when it bass. If you turn it up, the bass will jiggle the cabinet and will make this. So yeah, I'll show you what this decoupling is. Okay, so I got this thing lifted out. So underneath here I got it sitting on a 16 gauge steel plate. You can buy these at Home Depot. You can buy them like 1 foot by 2 foot, and I just use a hacksaw to kind of cut it off at the right dimensions. So that's what it's sitting on. Nice, strong, fairly rigid dealy. I got some bubble wrap because some people online said, bubble wrap kind of helps decouple. This is kind of the thin stuff that's used for, comes in the box packaging from Amazon and that kind of thing. So just got a couple layers of that. Got a cork thing. This is mainly for spacers. I didn't choose this to be cork. I just needed something to kind of space it up a little bit. So I got that in the stack. But then yeah, this is a 10-pound weight. So any vibrations has to shake the momentum of this guy, and so then the weight sits on these little spring things, this is about $50 on Amazon for the set. And yeah, these are meant for this task of decoupling audio, cabinet to your gear, so your gear's not rattling around as your speakers play. So those support the weight. And then yeah, under here, this is just a piece of plywood. You can see, yeah, here it's just sitting on washers, and there's a bolt which holds it underneath. It's just hanging off these four, these four things, which I also put some bubble wrap in there, although it's basically squished because the weight kind of squishes it. Maybe if I had stronger bubble wrap, it would be all right. Yeah, it kind of sits there. The springs, the weight, the plate, and then the turntable on top of that. And then yeah, when the turntable's going, if I push it all the way, the vibration will get to it. You turn the bass up, you'll get some of that hum feedback, which sounds terrible. But yeah, you can get it reasonably loud with the turntable in there. So it's certainly as good, if not better, than what this was. It's a few pounds, but it's not 10 pounds. And yeah, these springs are nothing special, and it doesn't have the bubble wrap or anything like that. And yeah, so this just sat in the holes here, so the turntable was kind of built in by hanging below to kind of save space. And then this guy will fit in there, but yeah, just barely. Like, you can close the cabinet. It's pretty tight, but yeah, it's there. They're suspended. Okay, so that's the project overall. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.